Good morning. We're really glad you're here.
We are, and I think
we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna wipe out
today.
today.
Problem today. Yeah. I think we solved that. So.
Yeah, and it looks really clear.
You look really clear.
Clearly gray.
Well, this, I don't know how well it's streaming, but at least doing things in this mode, we're at 1920 resolution for the cameras. Before we were at 1280.
Okay. But we're plugged in, so...
Yeah, we have been doing a wireless webcam thing, which was not working so good.
Hopefully today the video won't cut out on us.
Although I did time it yesterday. I went back and I looked at the video from yesterday, and it was 10 minutes from when it came on to when it went off. Yeah. It was definitely a phone timeout thing. Yeah. We were using a phone camera on a wireless mode, so...
Hopefully that won't happen today.
Hopefully that won't happen today.
Yeah. And hey, I'm Tammy.
I'm Seth.
And we're the 4031 family.
We are.
And we have another member of the 4031 family
in the chat with us today. At least
I assume that would be on
since
Facebook.
You're on Facebook.
So good morning, Benjamin. That is our first son.
Well, by 2 minutes doesn't really count. He's one of our first sons.
He's one of our first children.
Why am I seeing glitches?
I don't know.
Did you see them?
I did. But it didn't appear to be just that part of the screen. It felt like it was more of your complete... No, that's...
The whole thing.
And it's coming through over there, too. Did we unwire?
No, we are losing frames. This may just be a function of the network today.
Okay.
Looks like we're losing about 1% of the frames that we're sending, so...
Sorry for the glitching.
At least it's small.
We shouldn't black out today.
Right.
On the screen.
With a little icon that says... Whatever the icon says.
So that's...
Unpause your phone. Resume video. We
That's
tried
a good
that.
thing.
And we tried that the last time and it didn't reconnect. So anyway, we're going to go this way and then maybe we're going to have to...
I'm Tammy, I'm Seth, and I'm Benjamin. Good job, Benjamin.
And he sees them too, the videos.
Sorry about the glitches.
So the maybe the next thing we need to invest in is a better, more permanent webcam too. Camera of some kind. I don't know. We'll see. If you'd like to help us with
we'll
that,
see what God has in store.
Right?
Trust it all on God.
So what did we do yesterday? Anything exciting so we can update the people?
Well, okay, so kind of maybe. For me, it was a big check mark on my to-do list because as we've talked about, we're getting ready to go to this big vendor show in August in about 5 weeks where we're going to be
That'll be the Christian Products Expo.
Yeah, in Duluth, Georgia. If you are a retailer, come see us. It's free for retailers to walk through. You just have to get there. But you can walk through.
And if you see stuff you like as a retailer and you buy from the people who are exhibiting at the thing, the Christian Retailers Association, if you're a member, so that would cost you, will actually reimburse, will
depending on your orders.
They have a level, but you can get almost all of your travel and hotel expenses reimbursed. Yeah. Just by placing orders from vendors at the show.
Yeah. So we're really excited about it. But we put an ad in the book, but then we want, because this is our very first time going, we wanted to set up a about us kind of thing to throw in their welcome bag. And so we're making a sample book, 8.5 by 11 with full-size sample pages from all of our different iterations of things, the searching the word, the journaling the word, the tracing the word, coloring the word, my journal, and also the coloring searching book. Through
did you say
series.
Coloring the word?
I did.
Okay. Sorry.
So all of our books that we have right now, we're going to have full-size pages for them to do and be able to see, again, full size, full quality, full color. For tracing the word, that's important because we're using the traditional reds and blue lines that you'd see in a handwriting page. So yeah, we're excited. So we finally got the cover done on that. It took a while to get the cover designed the way I wanted it to be. So we got that done.
Yeah, and that's just a sampler book that'll be in their welcome bags, the people who come to attend the show.
Yeah, but it's also a great thing that we can have on hand here so that if we meet with buyers for stores, we can potentially send them something also.
Yeah, basically a
teaser.
Like a teaser catalog.
Yeah.
You know, a do it yourself catalog.
So they can experience it.
Right.
What better way to have confidence in what you're going to sell and what your customers may or may not like than to experience it for yourself? Right. So that's our plan. That was a big thing. Now we've got to figure out the guts for the inside, but
that's easy. Though,
that'll be easy.
We have the books. We just got to figure out what verses to use.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Isaiah 40:31.
Anyway, we're really, really excited about that. Little intimidated. Good morning, Dr. Johnson. I'm intimidated about the event. I really hope that this is something that I've prayed many times that God send us signs that this is what we're meant to do, to just tell us, just let me feel that this is right, and he keeps doing so. So we're going to keep pressing forward and do the show and wait to see how he deems it worthy. And I'm going to have my own levels of measurements of success, and I just hope that they kind of match God's measurements of success.
You know, one of the hardest things to do in any venture is to wait on God to use it.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the reason we have Isaiah 40:31 as our family verse, and why we're the 40:31 family, because God tells us to be still.
Be in seasons of wait through moments.
Right. So
good morning, Cheryl. Yeah, so it's we're really excited about getting the books out there, and pray that this is the time that God wants them out there. We've been looking at going to CPE. This is the third time we've looked at it.
And this is the time that God seems to have made a way for us to do it. So, we're excited.
So we're doing it.
Plus, you know, we had I spent a month or two now ago where our pastor preached one Sunday. He was going through 1 Kings and was talking about seasons of waiting, you know, and preparation. You know, if we had gone a year ago, we would not have.
We would have had one book.
We'd have had one book, and we wouldn't have had. And if we'd gone 6 months ago for the winter thing, we would have had a couple books with various numbers of volumes completed. But over the last 2 years since we started this venture, you know, we've gotten to the point where we now have over 268 books.
Yeah, 6 different iterations, 6 different book series.
Book series with different
volumes
and things like that, and so it's really you know, we've gone through that season of seasoning and waiting, and now we hope we have achieved a critical mass of stuff to go. So be praying for us as we do that. We'll be trying to figure out what to do with this show while we're there. 9:30 Central is 10:30, which is like right in the middle of the show for the days we're there. So we might record something ahead of time. We might
just get up early and do something in the morning before we head over to the center.
Schedule it to go live at 9:30. Yeah, maybe.
Or just go live.
Well, we might have appointments with vendors.
I mean like early in the morning.
Oh, yeah. People can always come back and watch it at 10. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
I'm going to really interrupt I'm going to interrupt for a second. One of the things we did change today is you changed the resolution. Is it easy to quickly change that back? Could that be the glitchy?
No, because I changed the resolution of the camera, but I didn't change the resolution of the stream because that's handled by the
OBS.
Yeah. Well, no, it's handled by the platforms.
Okay.
All right. I didn't change.
Sorry for the glitchy. We're still here. At least you still get to see us. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today's devotion is entitled Songs in the Night.
Where are you getting that from?
It was written by Dr. Henry Morris, and we're getting it from the Institute for Creation Research. It's their Days of Praise. It's their devotion book. They send this out. If you go to www.icr.org/DOP.
We should figure out a way to put that on the screen so people can see it.
It's right there on the screen.
I don't have a screen.
You push the button and it magic happened. And waiting for live video signal. Yay. We're going to keep going and it'll come back. So go to www.icr.org/DOP. And if you sign up for a subscription to the Days of Praise, you will receive it in your email every day so that you can potentially prepare in advance for today's discussion. We won't, but we'd love it if you did.
I know. It just sounds funny. We won't prepare.
We won't prepare
because we do this off the cuff.
We do, but I like it. You may not, but we do.
I have no idea.
And also, if you subscribe, you will get this handy dandy little book in your snail mail box once a quarter. It's good for, this one is June, July, and August. So we're a third of the way through. All right. So today's devotion, again, is entitled Songs in the Night.
It's a long one, verse-wise. So.
Oh, the scripture.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right. It is from Psalm 42, verses 7 and 8. Deep calleth unto deep at the noise of thy waterspouts.
Deep cries out to deep. That's
right.
a hymn.
And the deep cries out to deep.
Sing.
I totally
blanked on the
blanked. Cries out to deep, and we sing. Lost it. Okay, I'll keep doing this and he'll find it. I know I don't really like the song because it repeats so very much.
Psalm 47.
Okay. All thy waves and thy billows are gone over me, yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. Thank you, Benjamin. I was just going to say, Benjamin, save us.
Yeah.
Come, Lord Jesus, come. And deep cries out to deep.
Yeah.
Come, Lord Jesus, come. And you sing that about 8 times. I don't enjoy that song. It sounds really good. I know RJ, Cheryl, if you're watching, this is one RJ has soloed on a few times, and he has a great voice and sings it beautifully. The song is too repetitive, and it's the phrasing, and then you get to a different chorus, and you're singing the same da da da, and Holy Spirit come. It's great. It's all the words are meaningful. The song's too repetitive.
Benjamin says, "Well, that's not the melody, but that's okay."
That's the alto line.
This is what happens when you do stuff without preparing beforehand.
It's the alto line. So
Yeah.
you may not think it's a melody, and it probably isn't, but that's the alto line, and it does the same 2 notes the entire stinking song. Okay, we're going to move on. Good morning. The very first psalm, for example. Oh, you scrolled it, and I didn't know you scrolled it. I was jumping to the second paragraph. First paragraph,
I don't think we did the first paragraph yet.
There are times in the life of a believer when he seems about to sink under great avalanches of trouble and sorrow. Why does Dr. Morris keep doing this to me? Yes, Benjamin, I'm saying you're right.
Mark the day.
Mark the day. There are times in the life of a believer when he seems about to sink under great avalanches of trouble and sorrow. But then, quote, I call to remembrance my song in the night. This is Psalm 77, verse 6. And God answers once again. In the book of Psalms, the theme of conflict and suffering is prominent, but always there is also the note of hope and ultimate triumph.
Because we have hope and there is triumph.
That works out well to his devotion.
It does. No, I'm using the devotion to say that because it's easy. Sinking is a very apt description of the feeling of being overwhelmed and inundated. I mean, all these. It's funny. All those inundated. That's a water term. It's like being overwhelmed by a flood, being overshadowed, overcome, over what. But it's important to remember that God is God,
We're
right?
not.
And but He's got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the second paragraph now.
Okay. Do you want me to scroll down to the third so you can get confused?
No.
Okay.
The very first psalm, for example, notes the conflict of the righteous with the ungodly, but promises that the way of the ungodly shall perish. That's in verse 6. The second psalm foretells the final rebellion of the heathen against God and his anointed, but assures us that God will vex them in sore displeasure, verses 2 and 5. See, there are words like that just vex. It's a simple little 3-letter word. Hey, it would be a great Scrabble word. I'm just saying.
Vex? No joke, right?
Yeah. That's one I never think about.
Right,
so next time you play Scrabble and you have an X, watch for the E and the V.
Well, there's always an E. And it's annoying because it's one of those words that's worth a lot of points that nobody can build off of.
Right? You'd be the one that you'd be like, ugh!
Right. You can't. And it's a 3-letter word, so it annoys everybody because you've tied up the letter and the ones all around it.
But you got lots of points.
And
hey, maybe mastered around a triple word score or whatever. But anyway, vex. It's our word of the day.
How do we get to Scrabble?
In Psalm 3... Again, we don't prepare. In Psalm 3, the believer says, "Many are they that rise up against me." But then he remembers that salvation belongeth unto the Lord, verses 1 and 8. He cries in Psalm 4, "Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer." I think that part of the verse is what's so key. It's Psalm 3 is my favorite. Thank you, Keith. I'll have to look at that one.
Well, you just read from it.
That was the one I'm reading? Yeah.
The one before. The believer says, "Many are they
in
that
Psalm
rise
3,
up against me."
But salvation belongs unto the Lord.
Right?
And it's when we read in Psalm 4 about, hear me when I call, hear me when I cry out. It's, I had somebody reach out to me recently to pray for them, and I didn't know the situation, and I didn't have to know the situation. That's what I love about God. That's one of the things I love about God, is that we can pray for each other, and we don't have to know your need, because God does.
Right.
I don't have to speak actual
You don't have to.
relevant words.
You don't have to go down a list of things to pray for a person.
Just praying over you.
Yeah.
And I told this sweet lady of just cry out. Just it doesn't knowing that God can understand through the mess of the words coming out of my mouth right now when I'm not crying, but more importantly when I am crying, and words that don't come out when I'm crying. He calls on us to cry out to him. He calls on us to call for him, and he'll hear you. Mm-hmm. And it then ends it with, "Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer." Yeah.
Where are you reading from?
Psalm 4 under the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that part. I was just finishing up that part.
That's
in
good.
Psalm 5, immediately after the first imprecation in the Psalms, and that's the imprecatory prayers.
Right. That's where you're praying against somebody.
Ew.
Yeah. Lord, strike them down.
Please don't do that over me.
Never have.
Oh, that's a good thing to hear. Immediately after the first imprecation in the Psalms. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah, imprecation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
Which is cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions. Like, don't forgive their sins. Cast them out. Get rid of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately after that occurs the first specific mention of singing in the book of Psalms. This is verses 10 and 11. "Let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout," literally sing, "for joy, because thou defendest them." The Lord Jesus and his disciples sang a psalm even as they went out into the night of his betrayal and condemnation. Mark 14:26. This is his gracious promise. "Ye shall have a song as in the night, and the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard." That's Isaiah 30, verses 29 and 30. My favorite verse about singing.
Right. Zephaniah. It's on her. Look at this.
It's on my Tumblr.
And we didn't prepare ahead
Didn't
of
even
time.
prepare
She uses that every day. It's
I do.
Not for today.
It's Zephaniah 3:17, and it's this part of it. Can you pull that section up? Because it's Zephaniah 3:7, but like starting in 15. "He will joy over thee with singing" is the way it ends. But I always forget about what comes right before it, and it's so important.
Starting in 14, maybe?
No, it is all of 17. "The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love, and he will joy over thee with singing." And it's He's in the midst. He's mighty, and he's with so much joy. He's singing over you. It's like I think about it as a mom to a baby when I would hold my babies and I'd sing to them, and it just, I don't know if it was more to calm them or to calm me,
and for the
or
record,
both.
For the record, Benjamin, you grew up on alto lines, so.
But I remember singing over my children. I still hear my mom singing over me. It brings you peace. It brings you, but he joys over you with singing. And so, having this devotion today being about Psalms, and again, they're talking even that night in the garden, they're coming together in song, and that's a good point. So it's just, there's so much in the Bible about singing, and it's bringing joy over your spirit, those around you, crying out to God, and he'll be there. And I think that there are some who feel weakness in asking for help. I think there are some who feel weakness in asking for prayer, because it shows that
vulnerability.
Yeah. And
we don't want to
inability.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say, we don't want to appear to other people like we don't have it all together.
Oh, yeah. You all know us.
Well, I mean, I've got it all together. No, but that. It's weird that everybody presupposes that everybody else has everything together, and that nobody wants to hear my story. Nobody. I can't trouble other people with my problems.
But hearing other people's moments gives you that strength to know you're not alone.
Right.
In your moment.
Right.
And it gives you that, wow, that person who I thought had it all and had it all together.
Wow. Yeah, maybe
they're just like me.
Right.
That's
powerful. That's what's so powerful about a testimony. Even an after the fact testimony. About how bad things used to be, but how good our God is in getting us through it. That resonates with people, because people go, wow, they had a hard time, or they had an issue.
I never knew.
Well, no, so.
I think that's one thing that I don't like about me, is that I'm really quick to break, and I'm really quick to cry, and I don't hide my emotions. I don't, believe me, I don't do it on purpose.
Like in a manipulative sort of way? No, I don't think you do either.
But I'm just so annoyingly over emotional, and I kind of always have been. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older, and I think it's just because I've learned to love in a different way, and
you empathize.
I am so pathetically empathetic.
Yeah, it's not pathetic.
Oh, it's painful though. It's so painful.
Well, I get that it's pathetic. Benjamin, real quick, just to interrupt, would you tell us what that video is for those of us who can't?
Chorus of that song.
Oh, it's a song.
Matthew West. I can tell by the lyrics. I say I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Hey, I'm fine. But I'm not. I'm broken.
Yeah.
And when it's out of control, I say it's under control, but it's not. And you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it. When being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fall. There's no sin you don't already know. So let the truth be told. Yeah,
because God in that moment is in the midst of it and mighty, and he will save, and he will rejoice over thee with joy.
And he already knows.
Yeah, he already knows. Yeah, that's why the Zephaniah verse is so powerful, because it applies in every situation. Because God is not present in our midst in the good times. Right? He is. What I mean is, it's not that's not what the verse is saying. It doesn't say the Lord thy God is in the midst of thee. The
Only
Lord thy
when.
God in the midst of thee when you're in a good spot is mighty. It's, in fact, the next phrase, the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save, implies that it's during those times when you're feeling deep, crying unto deep, that you're overwhelmed and feel like you're sinking, that's when, What are you looking at? Oh,
I was just getting that off the screen. Thank you, Benjamin. It's
made
something,
your mother cry.
Again, not hard to do. There are some times that just songs have a way of speaking, and I really respect so much the songwriters that are out there, the lyricists who have that ability to just speak truth. They speak hard truth. It's okay to admit you're broken. It's okay. Yeah. And see, I'm that. He says, I think I cry every time I listen to that song, and your mom and me right now is dying because I don't want to think of my children hurting. But
I don't want to think about that song resonating with my children. That
they're broken.
Right.
But who hasn't gone through a time of being broken? It's, and it's broken in different ways. And sometimes you get a year where you have break after break after break after break, and you're like, yeah, I'm fine. We all know better. And that's where, I'm sorry. That's where, God surrounds you with people. But see, that's a different song you're putting up.
I know. And it's a different never mind.
It's a whole different thing.
But it's the same thing. It's about admitting
being broken together.
It's about admitting that there are so many things that I need that I don't have the ability to do for myself, that you provide, and there are a lot of things that you need that you can't do for yourself that I provide. That's not.
It's not just husband and wife. That's the body.
Well, that's a great point. That's not where I was going, but that's exactly right. And what I was going to say is it's not transactional. We're not married because you do things for me. We're not married because I do things for you. We're not, it's not that. It's just a beautiful way that God has constructed individuals to relate to one another so that we complement one another. And the body, it's exactly right? It's
being there for each other.
It's being there for each other, bearing one another's burdens.
It's lyrics like this.
The Matthew West. Yeah.
There's an artist I came across a couple years ago named Lydia Laird, Laird. She's from Texas, from a big family.
Because that's a Texas name.
I know, right? But she's very honest about her anxiety. Well, I assume it's hers, depression, and calling on God to meet her there. That's one of the songs is "Meet Me There," and it's I don't have the ability to write out what I feel, but there are people out there who have done songs that speak to the core of who I am, and I know everybody has their own people who can do that to them in terms of music, but it's such an amazing gift that you can just wrap yourself. I can put that album on and just let her be my voice in those times, as I'm curled in a ball, racking in sobs.
There's another song that one of the lines is about the songwriter who seems to know the songwriter who seems to write your life in every line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just, that's
a beautiful gift.
And that's just
Good morning, Jen.
A picture, not a picture. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just a hint of that complementarianism that I just spoke about people complement one another, where certain people are strong, others are weak, right? And That's true of us, and it's also true of all of us in relation to God, because we all are ultimately weak, but that there are people
Being
out there.
It's not a failure.
It's not a failure. People out there who can give voice to the indescribable things within each one of us. That's a way of giving. That's like a gift from God.
It is.
He gives people the ability to speak things that resonate with people who can't speak it themselves.
God is using all of us to be there for each other, whether we have a in-person relationship or not, whether you've never met us and you just came across us today or not. God uses and puts people in our lives to get us through moments and to be there for each other. And he uses Lydia Laird and Matthew West and
Matt Smith and different Matt Smith.
All of these people to be able to speak his love for us through them. He can, for me, again, I love, and let me not feel alone. It's one of the many ways that I can see him, and he uses music for me as that comfort. We don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay to admit a moment or a series of moments where you need others,
a season,
and when you need God. And again, going back on what we said the other day, don't forget to acknowledge that some of the weird things in your life could be God saying, I'm here. You called for me. I'm here in a way you don't expect. And don't forget, if you're the one, you might be the one being nudged by God to go tend to someone. So again, if you're getting that nudge, I should check in on someone, go do it.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Because you could be the way God is helping someone else.
Yeah.
Because we're all being used by him, for him. And sometimes you're the one that he's singing. We'll still be here.
It's a holiday.
Which means you don't have to go straight off to work, but we'll still be here.
So we'll do a long episode. We'll do like a marathon. Maybe we'll...
But it's like I'm sitting there going, we could suddenly do an hour. We could be, but no, we won't. And I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it keeps showing that we're breaking. But we're going to still keep talking. At some point you can come back and catch what you missed. But we should go because you do have job today.
Yeah, it is time for us to wrap it up for the day. So
thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for being us. Please share the video on this platform and any other that you...
Yeah, the list is down below.
The list is below. It does help us. I know. Retweet, re-X. Do you re-X now?
I don't know.
Do you Rex now?
We're vexed.
We're vexed.
Do you vex as you Rex? Right. I don't know.
You could turn vex into vexed. Are there two X's in Scrabble?
I don't know.
I don't think there are. So you can't do vexed. You could do vexing.
You could.
Anyway.
People who are tuning in now are very confused why we're talking about vex.
Yeah, scroll back.
Scroll back and get ready for Scrabble. So we love you, and we thank you for tuning in today.
If you do need someone to pray for you, reach out to us. Pray with me at the4031family.com. We would be happy to do so. We promise not to call you out. You've never heard us give a shout out to somebody with a prayer request, and we won't. Unless you ask us to. But, so again, the links are all below. We're going to add a link tree here at some point.
Maybe. I haven't figured that part out yet. One of our girls is very, young and all into the social media things, and she's teaching. I kind of feel like our parents sometimes of when you would try to help my mom and dad with computer stuff, and it's hard when you know it all and parents don't, and that's kind of where we are with one of our girls who's trying to help us.
I resent that.
We resemble that remark.
We resemble that remark. Anyway, for the 4031 family today, thanks again for joining us. I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
Don't forget that he's God.
And we are not. We hope to see you in the morning at 9:30, and we hope you have a really great day today.
Have a great day. Bye.